30 clubs in 15 days, presented by T-Mobile, rolls on. We're with the Marlins. Cliff Floyd, Robert Flores with you. Cliff, next season, this complex is going to look totally different. They're undergoing a massive renovation, and it kind of mirrors the renovation that this team and franchise is going through again.
Great way to put it. And I think the biggest thing for me is, you get these guys to come into camp and feel good about where they're going and how they go get their bodies in tip-top shape, and then go out there and transition to the field. And hopefully that will boost them to feeling like, this rebuild won't last as long as you think. That's the biggest picture.
Well, they've got a new manager, Clayton McCulla, comes over from the Los Angeles Dodgers, new coaching staff, a lot of new players, Cliff. They play in a tough division, we know this, but there are opportunities for players to play, to get at bats, and to make impressions on this franchise.
Probably gonna hear opportunity a lot, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing with young camps. But the biggest thing is that shouldn't last long. When you have talent, you got to get these guys to believe that they should be here.
Yeah.
They have to go out there and perform to stay here, and that's what you're looking for. If you're Clayton, a new manager with a young coaching staff, the most important thing is to sort of get these guys to understand the importance of going out there and competing every single night.
Now, one quick point, Sandy Alcantara returns from Tommy John surgery. He looked great in his first spring training start. We're taping on a Thursday. He is actually starting, so we're not going to be interviewing Sandy. But look, Cliff, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Sandy Alcantara will not be a part of this team at the end of the season.
Right, it's not. And I think that's, the most important thing is getting them healthy and getting them back out there, right? And so he's getting the opening day start, and that's a boost to the morale of the team. So you have to find out what Sandy is going to be. If he's here for the long haul, cool, as you move forward with the rebuild, or if he's not, what you get back to boost this club moving forward.
Let's take a look at the additions and subtractions for this Marlins team, and obviously there were a lot of subtractions, but you get Alcantara, that's almost like a de facto free agent signing, and then you get Matt Mervis, the former Cubs top prospect. He comes over. Cal Quantrill, they signed him to a one-year deal to fortify that starting rotation. One player that returns from 2024 who made a big impression, the shortstop Xavier Edwards. I asked Edwards what it's like to be a young guy and still expected to lead this young squad.
We got a young group, like you said, but I think we're all kind of doing it together. Sure, my name might be attached to it, but I think we're doing it as a collective group. We're all kind of around the same age. We can bring a lot of energy to the field every day, and we're just excited to play together.
When you think about you, and I think you can steal 70, 80 bases, but how do you go about just being aggressive and knowing that you can't give up outs, but also be that table setter this team needs?
Yeah, get on base first off. No bases come without getting on base, so getting on base first and foremost.
Yeah.
And you're not being afraid to go, picking the right spots to go, right counts, right pitches, right pitchers to go off of. We're doing our homework, making sure we're prepared when we get on the bases. All that stuff comes into play, but also, being patient at the same time and not just forcing the issue and running to run, really being smart with it. So I think that's really important.
One thing I've always heard from players and former players like Cliff X is that the game forces you to constantly evolve. When you were a young player, you used to have a leg kick. Now you've got the toe tap. So I wanted you to take a look at, this is highlights from your cycle in Milwaukee. First of all, this is the high school swing on the left, and then obviously you abandoned the leg kick. How come?
I just felt it was more consistent for me to do the toe tap, something I could really just control the ground with, and it was easier for me to get my timing and gather together with both of my feet on the ground as opposed to having one up in the air, and I just felt I had more adjustability that way.
Cliff, my man hits his first career homer on the same day that he hits the cycle in Milwaukee. You mentioned you were feeling good that day.
Yeah, he said he's trying to get back there. That's what you always want that feel. And I think the biggest thing with being a guy that taps is it's a perfectionist type approach, and you got to get the timing down perfect.
Now, here's the spot I really want you to focus on here. We highlighted the toe tap here. When you get this side angle, first of all, the speed and showcasing the wheels. Tell us what you're thinking about, when that pitch is coming and you get the toe tap. What are you thinking?
Usually I'm thinking not as much about my hands, more so my bottom half. I want to get into my back hip more so when I get to the tap. So I kind of could just wait for the pitch to come, fastball, off-speed pitch. Once I get to the back hip and I can hold that, I can kind of decide where my foot goes, my front foot goes after that. And, after that, it's just the swing comes off and the rest is itself.
So I had a leg kick that went to the toe tap. And the difference was I was getting beat with the leg kick. And not to say that everybody's different, obviously, but when I got to the tap, my head didn't move as much. Do you see us, sort of staying level
Right.
and making sure you don't have so much movement?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, with both feet on the ground, I just felt like I was in a better position to hit.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to kind of balance one leg in the air, or decide when I'm going to put my foot down if it's a fastball or if it's an off-speed pitch to kind of hang longer. But it was much easier for me to do so with both feet on the ground and just reading the pitch from there.
We'll get you out of here on this one. Obviously, this camp is about opportunity, but for you to know that you're on a day in and day out basis, you're going to be manning shortstop and being counted on to deliver for this team. What does that do for you?
That's huge. Last year at camp, I came in, looking to win a spot, and this year, kind of the same mentality, but maybe a different scenario this year. I'm just looking forward to getting to the season, getting an open day, and hopefully we've got a packed house down in Miami, and we're excited to get the year going.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to it, man. Thanks a lot for joining us. Appreciate
man.
it. Good luck to you.
Good one.
All right, bro. Kyle, so new team, new opportunity. How's camp been going so far for you?
Yeah, it's been going great. Been a really, seamless and smooth transition with the new staff. Like all the new things that we're incorporating, and we've been getting after it, working hard, and getting better every day.
What have you learned from last year that you can bring into this year as far as just your masteration and understanding the game and slowing it down for you to be successful?
Yeah, for sure. I think coming to Miami, starting to play more frequently, and starting to get attacked more consistently, and I was playing every couple days off the bench, a little easier to kind of hide those holes, but when you're playing every day, they find them, and so it's just learn how to handle being an everyday big leaguer, and kind of trying to stay ahead of the curve, and always working through things.
For you, right, as far as every offseason, I always try to add something to my regimen.
Yeah.
What was the one thing you added for yourself?
Yeah, I think, last year kind of having a little bit of a tough second half. I think, twofold. One, getting back to what I feel like my strengths are, and obviously trying to cover up weaknesses, but also, getting back to my bread and butter and knowing that the pitches that I can handle, taking care of those, but then always working on posture, with, the high velocity up in the zone, trying to just, have better posture to that pitch and handling that pitch.
Air and opportunity.
Yeah,
Go out there and do it, baby.
Appreciate it.
All right, stay healthy.
Yeah, thank you.
So Connor, you're now at third. You mentioned the throw is kind of taxing your right arm a little bit. How's that transition going for you?
It was challenging at first. It still is. It's a hard position to learn, but it's been really good so far in camp. I'm doing a bunch of extra work, trying to essentially be the best I can be as quick as I can. It's way different than second, but it's been good so far.
This roster is obviously a young one, and there's opportunities everywhere, but look, if we're going to talk about it, you're slotted in as the everyday third baseman. What is that like for you, even though you're a young man yourself?
It's funny you say that because I don't even feel that way.
How come?
It's just how I'm always wired. If you don't feel like you're getting chased, then someone's going to catch up because everybody wants your job, and I don't take it for granted, but I'm also not anywhere close to where I think I can be as a player. So that's also the driving factor. I think I can do a lot of cool things, and I did some last year at the back half for sure, but there's a lot of things I needed to grow and work on, and that's what we're working on right now. That's what we're doing.
With such a young roster, how do you guys view this season in terms of development, ultimately getting wins as part of a very difficult division?
It is a tough division, and I came from also another tough division.
Yes, you did.
But I think it actually helps us because none of us have a ton, there's not a bunch of us that have 5-6 years of experience. So it's kind of just like we're going to go out there and kind of play free a little bit, but I think we're going to surprise some people for sure. I've been saying it all camp. We know where we're projected to be, but we have some exciting young guys that are ready to prove themselves and take a next step. And I said it last year, we played really well down the stretch last year at the back half, playing a lot of these same teams, Atlanta, Philly, LA, Twins at the time. We were playing some good ball when we needed to, and we're just hoping to build off that.
Well, best of luck to you in 2025. You take care of that right arm, making that long throw.
I will, thank you.
You got it. We're in Jupiter, Florida with the Marlins. When we come back, we'll talk about their pitching staff. We know who the opening day starter is, but what about the rest of the rotation? We'll discuss. Cliff Floyd, the former Marlin. Robert Flores with you. Cliff, obviously, this franchise, there's a lot of uncertainty here, but one thing we do know, who their opening day starter is. Sandy Alcantara is back. His last time on the mound, September of 2023. But he's going to be the opening day starter for the Marlins.
Yeah, I think the key to that is he's healthy. and back, right? So you get him back healthy. He went through his whole, off season, getting himself in this shape. New manager, Clayton comes in, gives him the ball open day as we expected. And those are always things you look forward to as a player, walking through the doors, knowing you have your ace back on the mound. And that whole thing can sort of just go through the whole organization. You're looking for something to keep your head up. Sandy could be that guy for you.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, as we tape here today, Sandy Alcantara is scheduled to pitch, so that's why we're not able to interview him. But we can tell you that his first spring training start, he was sitting at 99. He looked really, really good.
And you can't tell him to take his foot off the pedal, right? You can't say, hey, we need to take it easy. Hey, can you throw 92, 93? You just can't teach that. So when you get a guy back healthy and he's feeling good and you stretch him out, you got to let him go out there and be himself.
Yeah.
I think that's what the Marlins have to do.
Now, when Alcantara was winning the Cy Young, he was going deep into ball games, throwing complete games. Obviously, he's coming off an injury.
Right.
I'm wondering how they're going to handle him, I imagine, very carefully as he works his way back.
So there's so many variables, I think, Roflo, when you think about, at some point, maybe he's not on this roster as you get towards the trade deadline in July. So bring him along slowly, but I think it's going to be Alcantara telling them how he feels and being honest with the trainer staff and so on and so forth. So
now, he does have a club option in 2027, so to Cliff's point, there is a real chance or a possibility that Sandy Alcantara does not finish this season with the Miami Marlins. So when you look at the rest of the rotation behind Alcantara, you've got Ryan Weathers, Edward Cabrera is an intriguing arm, but who's going to be that fifth starter? Right now, 3 names in the mix: Meyer, Belloso, and Adam Mazur, who they acquired from the San Diego Padres. For more on the Marlins rotation, including another member of that rotation, Cliff Floyd with Ryan Weathers.
All right, Ryan, so let's get it out the way. I played with Dad, as you know, and we go back to the 90s, but one great thing that I thought was super cool is you changed your number to his. How cool was that for him?
It's cool. He taught me everything I know about baseball, so it's just cool to give a little piece back to him, just to honor him and just, the hours he put in. I mean, he did it for a long time. And,
yes, he did.
I always have that respect for him. After doing it for a couple years now, for him doing it as long as he did, just knowing the day in, day out grind, I have a ton of respect for him, and he's always somebody I lean on.
So before we got on, we talked about health and the importance of it for you and giving yourself a chance to have your full season. What were some of the things you did this offseason to make sure you get to that point?
For sure. I've always kind of been a little bit more of a husky guy, so just being able to kind of trim that down a little bit, preserve inflammation, just health in general. That's our job as a starter, go out there and go take the ball every 5th day and, pitch into September, and then, if we get to October, pitch into October. Health's the #1 name of the game.
You're a guy that's seen Sandy go through his whole comeback. How fun is it to see him back on the mound? And easy throwing 98, 99, right?
We're having bullpens, and it's like he's flipping 95.
It's unbelievable.
He's a machine. So it's gonna be fun to watch him get back this year. When I got traded over here, I saw him get hurt, and just kind of the deflated feeling that it had on the team. That's our horse, and seeing him work and get back, I'm excited for him to pitch. I think it's gonna be a big year for him, and I'm just excited to watch him pitch. Actually, on this side of his team, I'm excited to watch him pitch.
Last question for you. Ryan Weathers, what's a good season for you?
Shoot, just staying healthy. Whenever that team wants me to throw the ball, that's my time to pick it up and go. I don't really have any personal goals. I just want to stay healthy and help the team.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Have a great year, my man.
Appreciate it.
Tell Pastor say hello.
Yep.
Manager interviews are presented by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball.
Time now for the manager interview presented by Sage and the manager, first-year manager Clayton McCulla, wearing a different shade of blue.
Yeah, buddy.
Going from Dodger blue to the teal of the Miami Marlins. How's camp been going so far?
Yeah, it's been going great. I mean, really, we knew coming in we were going to have a youthful roster, but with talent. And they've been, the energy's been great. It is like there's opportunity here, and there's a lot of excitement been around camp, and each day for our staff has been awesome because it's like there's so many teachable moments, and from whether it's the game, the workouts. Right. So we've been just so proud of how the guys have come out here with an open mind to some of the training. Practices and things that we've done. So it's been a lot of fun.
Social media question from the fans. Dan wants to know, Clayton, will you miss the Ohtani headbutts?
No, I won't. Best of luck, Shohei. But we're gonna look to take, come after you when we meet you during the season. All right. So no, not gonna miss the Shohei head bumps. That's in the past. Turn the page there.
My days in the Marlins uniform, winning World Series and then losing guys and having opportunity for youngsters. But my question is, how do you get these guys to sort of feel like they belong or know they belong without overwhelming them to sort of go through that lull?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we know it's a good league, and it's the best league, and so we've tried, at least in this camp early on, to stress like what we're going to do, like from a practice standpoint, and some of the drills and the challenges we're going to provide. We hope are giving you a little bit of a heads up for like nothing's easy about the game at night. You're going to face high quality stuff. Velocity's never been higher, so trying to create some training environments that may be more representative of what the game's going to be, and maybe a little unique and different for some. We feel like it's going to just help at least prepare you as best you can, and then we know that throughout the course of the season, the ability to, it's hard to get to the big leagues, and the ability to stay is so much about the adjustments you're just going to have to make, from, night to night.
Well, as Skip just mentioned, there's obviously a lot of opportunity, also a lot of young talent throughout this franchise. And for more on that, let's send it over to Jonathan Mayo.
A lot of changes in the Marlins organization at the big league level and through their system, a ton of trades. You can see at this top 5 exactly how they're putting together this farm system. You got guys from the draft like Thomas White and Noble Meyer. Got guys via trades like Starlin Caba on here. And then Andrew Salas is their big international signing for 2025. And he's already here in camp, going to start the year in the United States. So he's a little bit ahead of the curve. And speaking ahead of the curve, we're with Thomas White right now. And Thomas, I always heard that guys who were from the Northeast out of high school who didn't throw a ton, it's supposed to take them a little bit longer. You didn't get that memo, I guess.
No, I guess not. That was kind of the confidence I had in myself to come out, and I said it a lot. I didn't feel like I need to leave the Northeast, and I felt good about my abilities, and I think I showed that I was confident in myself, and it came true.
I want to ask you quickly, because people always mention you and Noble Meyer together, same draft class, moved together across the country. I know we talked about that, but just what's it like being able to go through someone your own age who you knew before a little bit and being able to go through the process of trying to get to the big leagues together?
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to have someone going through the same situation you are. If you're struggling, you can always ask them. If you're going really good, they can always ask you. He had a really good sweeper or slider coming out of high school, so I picked his brain on that, and that's where I kind of got the beginning of what turns into now what is my sweeper. So just picking each other's brain, we're both developing, still growing together, and we'll keep learning from each other.
All right, good stuff, Thomas. Obviously, plenty of opportunity here with a lot of young guys. Thomas White, Noble Meyer, they're going to be there soon enough. Back to you, Rick.
Wrapping things up from Marlins camp, 30 clubs, 15 days, presented by T-Mobile. Cliff Floyd, Robert Flores. Cliff, this is a camp for opportunity.
Yep.
This is a very difficult division that they're a part of, but they're going to find out which players are going to be around for the long haul this year.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is trying to find out what the future looks like, but also getting these guys to be competitive, accountable, and showcase some of the skills without overwhelming them, right? So putting guys in really good positions to be successful. It's going to be a lot of platooning going on, but I think, most important thing is finding out, the identity of every player that you have in camp.
2 positions there won't be a platoon at, shortstop and third base, Xavier Edwards, Conor Norby. Give me a prediction for X, what you think individually might look like in 2025 for him.
Well, I think the biggest thing for him is he knows he has to be a big table setter for this team to score runs and manufacture. So 50-plus stolen bases would be ideal with him being aggressive, not worried about getting caught stealing and all those things like that, but understanding that he has to be that guy at the top to get this engine rolling. So 50-plus stolen bases,
I like
100 runs. I don't know if he gets to that because obviously you got to get in the scoring position and get in from third base, but it's a start to where you're trying to go.
Well, third baseman Conor Norby, I'm going to go 20 to 25 home runs, 75 to 80 RBIs for Conor Norby at third base. That's going to do it from Marlins camp. For Cliff Floyd, I'm Robert Flores. Thanks to everyone behind the camera and behind the scenes. Thanks for watching.